In this video, I want to talk about aligning with your authentic self. And what does this even mean to align with the authentic self? Well, we have this ego self, and the ego self is kind of like this protective friend in the passenger seat on your journey in life. And the ego self is basically looking through the lens of emotion. It's looking to keep you safe. So there are times where the ego self serves us, but we have evolved to a place, we as a species, humans as a species, have evolved to a place where we don't necessarily need to rely on the ego self. We are all expressions of source. And when I say source, I mean wherever you feel we come from. Think of source as a filler. For wherever you feel we come from, a higher power. We are expressions of source. And we have this internal guidance system that is a connection with this source universe. Quantum physics says everything in this universe is filled with energy, and this energy broadcasts information. So because we all have this gift of intuition and we can all learn to strengthen this gift, we all have the access to allow our intuition to guide us on this journey in life. So the ego self has absorbed all the ideas about who we should be through our teachers, advertisements, social media, television, movies. All these ideas have been filled within the mind, and we have begun to identify with these beliefs. A belief is created with a repetitive thought and emotion. So we have sort of taken on, many of us have taken on this identity of who we think we are. And when we live a life of who we think we are, life isn't as vibrant, life isn't as fulfilling. But at our core, our spirit self, we have a soul, core, authentic self. When we align with this self, this is just our nature, who we are, our source universe expression. When we align with this self and really begin to see life through this lens, life becomes fulfilling again. Life becomes vibrant. This is where we align with the ideas that can change the world, ideas that allow us to transform our own life in a way that is just awesome. I want you to think back to when you were a kid and you were just naturally drawn to certain things. That was your spirit self, right? But then we move along in the journey in life and they tell you that you're supposed to love certain activities. And most people begin to do these certain activities and then we do it. The school system puts us in this box that you're supposed to like learning this. And then maybe you don't like learning the things that they're teaching in school and you take on this identity that you're not smart. Boom. The ego kicks in. It's a way of protecting you from not getting maybe the best grades that you wanted to get. Speaking from personal experience, you take on this identity that isn't a representation of your authentic self. And then maybe you feel you're not smart, so you align with other things, people and experiences that feel that they're not smart. So here's the really cool thing, right? When we become aware that that isn't who we are, that is ego self, the protective friend protecting us, and that we have this source, authentic self within, we can learn to observe those thoughts. We can learn to release the beliefs and align back with our core self. The core self is genius. The core self is attracted to certain things and absorbs information like that when we're interested in something. Your authentic self is anything that is empowering. I want you just to think for a moment, look around you. All of this is a freaking miracle. And if you just think that you're here by accident, I mean, dude, come on. You were created special and unique. And that is your authentic self. So in this video, I really want to share some ways to begin releasing the ego self, allowing us to observe this self, and aligning with our core authentic self. The core authentic self is genius. The core authentic self is special, unique, awesome, loves life, changes lives just by being. That's pretty cool. The authentic self is strong. The authentic self is abundant. So number one, in accessing the authentic self, is recognizing that all the empowering love that we look for outside of us is within us. That is the authentic self. The authentic self sees through this lens of love. The authentic core self is of love. That's number one. So if we can begin to affirm our love each day, begin to find gratitude for our body, for our breath, for our words, speak highly of ourselves. Because remember, friends, the subconscious has no sense of humor. When we are putting ourselves down, even as a joke, the subconscious doesn't necessarily know this, and we operate 95% of the time from the subconscious. So the more that we fill ourselves up with love, words of affirmation, empowering thoughts, this all absorbs within the subconscious, and we create this incredible environment for us to begin to experience life in a way that we deserve. So number one in accessing your authentic self is more love, more love, more love, more love. That is the core of who we are. You are awesome soul. Number two in accessing our authentic self is to detach from the idea, again, that we are these limiting beliefs that were created within the mind. We have absorbed all the ideas about who we should be through school, teachers, parents, friends, advertisements. And if we can remember that these were just illusions programmed within our mind, we can learn to release them by how? Observing them. Meditation, focusing on our breath, allows these thoughts to show up so that we can become aware of them, and they will drift by observing them and releasing our identity with them. You see what I'm saying here? Meditation is awesome in aligning with your authentic self. Again, this allows us to observe the beliefs and practice seeing through the lens of our spirit. Our spirit self allows thoughts to drift, allows thoughts to be there, doesn't attach an emotion to any limiting thought. So this step is basically learning to observe your thoughts. Basically see that you are not any of the limiting illusions within your mind. Anything that is empowering is you. Anything that is limiting is a lesson, is teaching you more about your well-being, is encouraging you to grow and see how special you are. And number three, in aligning with your authentic self, is to find ways each day to be growing in the thing that you love, or maybe it's just physical activity. The more that we can grow, that aligns us with the essence of our spirit, because source universe is unconditionally expanding, is growing, is evolving, and that is the essence of who we are. So if we can begin to consciously grow, consciously evolve, we are unconditionally doing this, but many times we are focused on ways that we are not. So if we can find ways each day to grow a little bit, even just 1%, in the thing that we love to do most in this world. Maybe it's art, maybe it's music, maybe it's learning a new chord, maybe it's learning a new way to paint, maybe it's public speaking, or maybe you're a scientist, whatever it might be. If you can find ways each day to get better at the thing that you love to do most in this world, that aligns you with your spirit and your soul mission. Your spirit has a divine soul mission. When we align with the soul mission, meaning the thing that we love to do most in this world that will inevitably change lives, when we find ways to grow in this, we align with this self, and that is the authentic self. The next way in aligning with your authentic self is just to begin to ask yourself, what is it that I loved to do when I was a kid? What was I naturally drawn to as a kid? Many times we lose our interest in the things that we love to do as a kid because, again, we're funneled into these systems that don't necessarily empower most people. And so we lose our interest not because of losing our interest, but many times because we are distracted by all the other things that are going on in our life. So a really great way to align with your core spirit self is to ask, what did I love to do as a kid? And how can I apply that today? Maybe you discover what you love to do as a kid and Maybe you discover what you loved to do as a kid and you apply it in a new way in your current life today, but it is of the same essence, of the same energy. Maybe when you were a kid, you loved hanging out with your friends. Well, let me tell you something, friend. That has a purpose. Maybe in your divine soul mission, you have an incredible team. You are an incredible team builder. You are someone that creates a team that is life-changing, that changes people's lives, something to do with a social, awesome, vibrant environment. I encourage you to not dismiss anything that you love to do as a kid. I feel that it has a divine purpose in your life today. The next way in aligning with your core self is to begin to strengthen your intuition. Your intuition allows you to rise above any of the limiting thoughts that exist within the mind and really strengthen your relationship with the spirit self. Quantum physics says everything in this universe is filled with energy. Energy holds information. So this energy that broadcasts off of everything, we have the ability to pull from and really see life from this bird's eye view, really see the bigger picture in life. And then we're able to pick partners and financial investments that are aligned with our highest good. We're able to align with our most optimal timeline in life. The universe is who we are. Learning to access this intuition is learning this language of the universe. It allows us to align with a life that is of authenticity of our nature. And that leads to the last way in this video of aligning with your authentic self. And I'm going to make this simple. Finding ways to be in nature. Nature is where our nature exists. Our spirit exists in all kinds of places. And if we can go there, that is when we really get in touch with the information that will align us with our most awesome life experience. Nature cleanses the mind. Nature raises our frequency and vibration. Your nature is of a high vibration, friend. Your nature within is of the mountains, stars, universe, and this exists within the trees, within the hills, within the ocean, within a lake, within a river. Your authentic self is outside of the influence of everyone else's ideas about who you should be. Thoughts are highly contagious. So when we're around all kinds of people, we are hearing everyone else's thoughts and we think that they're our own. When we're in nature, we're able to hear the energy and the vibrations of nature, of our own voice, of the voice of source, of the voice of the universe, and we're able to really get in touch with what we desire and our ideas, again, that can change the world and transform our own life. If you're watching this video, I just want to say that you're a special and unique spirit on this planet, and you have a divine mission. And the more that you can begin to find ways to see this in your life, the more you create this in your life, because whatever we focus on grows. If we focus on our love, we focus on our abundance, we create more love in our life, more abundance in our life. If we focus on where we are depleted, we create more of this experience. Not that we're depleted, but we feel that we're depleted. We create more feeling like we're depleted. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. You could have been anywhere. You're here. You're here. And if you haven't subscribed, what? If you are subscribed, shout out to you. Thank you so much. Feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Your thoughts matter. You're an incredible soul. I hope that you're feeling awesome and authentic. Thank you again for watching this video. All right, y'all. Peace. Hey.